Hey Mark, you ready for this game tonight?
Yeah, I'm excited, man. Cupsy, what are you doing over there?
Don't worry, boys. Was just on AztecSafety.com, took a fire extinguisher safety course. Paul, I'm putting out the fires from now on. Woo!
All right, real talk for a second. If your snack situation hasn't changed in years, maybe it's time for an upgrade. The Chocolate Lab makes legit chocolate that's worth paying attention to. That's it. Back to whatever you were doing.
Hello, curling fans, and welcome to Martensville. It's the Curling Stadium Martensville International. Semi-final time here between Jordon McDonald and Brad Gushue. So happy to have you here with us for this event. It's been a weekend of good curling, and we're getting down to the nitty-gritty right now. And alongside of me is Sean Joyce. Hello, Sean.
Good afternoon. It's almost don't need to say hello. I haven't. We were only off the air for a few minutes with an extra end game this morning. We're a few minutes late getting started here just because they had to prep the ice, but should be a couple of good ones.
Well, it was Connor's fault that it took so long. Connor Sims, our producer.
And the fall guy.
That was a decent show, The Fall Guy. You ever
Way
watch
before my
that?
time. Way before my time.
How the heck it isn't? If I remember it, you certainly should be able to.
I don't even remember what I had for breakfast.
Toast.
No, that was lunch. That was a quick lunch after the extra end game.
I managed to get a bagel real quick. So here we see it is Team Gushue with the hammer. They're playing yellow. McDonald has a red, and they tick that guard.
Guard was more problematic than you thought. They rubbed it going around, and then they rubbed it trying to hit the open stone.
And they did not rub it just the right way.
Brennan Botcher to look for the run back now and probably try to keep a shooter as a corner guard.
We thank you guys for joining us. I know that you might be watching that other tournament happening. The Winter Games, of course, occurring right now. We got some good curling here as well.
Wasn't really watching anything, but I did hear it was. We were talking about it before we went on the air. Connor Sims, we keep blaming him for everything, but he was watching some of the productions. He told us there was a fight going on, and believe it or not, it wasn't in a curling game. That was surprising.
Yeah, they had a hockey fight.
Went to a hockey game and the curling broke out. It's
Oh, boy. Display to the outside. They're going to make the double takeout, roll clear. So leaves the extreme corner draw.
Yeah, but as tough as these are, it's a short event. 10 teams were playing a round robin. They only had 5 round robin draws, but we saw this shot a couple of times this weekend and saw it made, where they just had to hang it on the edge of the 12-foot. We might have just seen it made again.
No, it just comes off. But still in play. It does look like there's just a sliver of daylight there. So here's third stones for Team McDonald, Jacques Gauthier.
Late in the end, you might see McDonald go over there to try to get the force, but he doesn't want any part of that right now. You start playing over in the corner like that, it's a risk-free opportunity for Gushue to play some freezes and see if he can't set up a deuce. You want to keep him in the open side of the sheet right now.
Long-time third, Mark Nichols. And we have the pop and flop. Going to go back and forth for a few stones here, I would imagine. On National Gumdrop Day. Hit and stick, no problem. And back and forth we go.
Yeah, we're at the point in the end now where both teams will be very conscious about trying to. You got to stick your shooter. Anybody rolls out now, we're going to see a freeze attempt on that stone that's just out of the rings.
The other semifinal as Tuma facing Mike McEwen. Jason and Jimmer have that call. Get another device going, watch them both. If you haven't subscribed to Curling Zone, we'd appreciate it if you do. Doesn't cost you anything. Keeps you updated on all kinds of great curling action throughout the year. We archive literally hundreds of games every year, probably into the thousands, that you can watch anytime you like.
Well, it's worth giving it a go to roll over there, maybe get a piece behind that Yellowstone that's just out of the rings. Make the
Might as well give it
trickier.
a shot.
Yeah, if you roll out, he was going to have a fairly routine blank opportunity anyway. You do have to throw some weight if you're going to try to get over there, because you got to roll fairly flat.
Jordon McDonald with his last of the first. Him and Nicky on the hold. That's going to catch it really, really thin. And it's going to slide underneath. So Brad wasting no time. Going to take a look at a different piece of ice here. Throwing the intern across the center line just to see what it does. And through the rings it goes. Blank end goes in the books. Brad will have the hammer when we come back from Martensville on Curling Stadium.
Developed over a decade in collaboration with the finest ice makers this side of the Atlantic, the Pebblehead PB5 is nothing short of a triumph of sophistication and craftsmanship. Weighing less than half its lumbering copper predecessors, yet boasting tenfold their durability, the PB5 delivers perfect, consistent ice, time after time. The PB5 by Pebbleheads.com, the apex of ice-making ingenuity for the roaring game of curling.
Brett, come on, man. I know Aztec's #1 for online safety training, but we really should be out here practicing.
I know, guys. I'll be right there. Just let me finish this course on gas detection. Wait. Do you smell that?
Welcome back to Martensville, to semifinals of the Curling Stadium Martensville International. Jordon McDonald versus Brad Gushue. Gushue with the blank in the first, has hammer thrown yellow here in the second end. See another big crowd on hand here in Martensville. Been large crowds and good support all weekend long. Cameron Olson the lead for Jordon McDonald.
Center guard thrown up to start the end. It's a little higher and a little farther off the center line than they would have liked. I don't know if they're coming around here or throwing the second guard, tight guard.
You see the other semifinal on the other sheet. We'll keep you updated on the score as it goes.
They're ending up with the tight guard.
Obviously has the virtue of being lined up with the one in front of it.
Yeah, but not on the center line. So Brad thought about the tick shot. You don't get to play that very much anymore. Kind of an unintended consequence of the rules. I think the other side of it, you don't get to play it as much anymore because a rock touching the center line can't be moved off the center line. And because you don't get to play it as much anymore, when you do have this opportunity, they're not as practiced at it. So they won't always throw it.
It gets missed a lot now when people try to play it.
Yeah, you just don't play it as much anymore. It was getting to be fairly commonplace. And, of course, any shot that you throw a lot, you get better at it.
So this is just the draw to the full 8.
Out-turn draw is a shot that Jeff Walker throws a lot, and he's pretty good at it. So he's buried.
Funny how that works.
Yeah. Gets a piece around that yellow. Still in some trouble here if you're McDonald. This is an opportunity. Brad makes the hit on that, rolls all the way behind the corner. It's not just 2. There could be 3 in play here. Even if you roll past the corner, as long as you stick it in the ring somewhere, that's going to roll too far.
Pulls right on out.
Another chance to get the corner freeze, though.
So, Humaniki with the toucan.
A little heavy on the first attempt, a little light this time. You can probably see enough of it to run it onto the yellow. And that's probably, Brad's not too interested in playing the out-turn draw because you might just make a wider target for him to run it back on. Thought about the in-turn draw first. Good shot if you make it. You sure don't want to slide behind the tee line, though. Thinking about trying to make a play on the guard and roll into the rings. Could straight peel it, too. I think they're playing the straight peel now. Just that to play the delicate shot, try to hold your shooter. And again, we don't have the mics on, so I can't hear the players, but he's worried about touching the yellow on the way by. Uh-oh. That was a plan B, and it wasn't a very good plan B.
Yeah,
they switched
that under plan bad.
Yeah, once he was too thick and it looked like he was getting a piece, they were a piece of the yellow in the rings. They switched the brush, hoping to, I guess, hit it maybe closer to the nose. They actually rubbed the other guard, which redirected everything towards the yellow shot stone. And now McDonald suddenly has an opportunity here. Don't know why you would play that. That guard, if anything, is probably helping you right now because it's kind of in the way for the in-turn draw. I'm seeing the out-turn draw to the forefoot, which is what he's looking at now, or the in-turn to the face of your own.
Olsen trying to drag this all the way back.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
All of a sudden, Brad Gushue, a bit of trouble here.
Now, based on how much the last one moved, and it had some weight on it, the chase should be there. You just need to move this one out from behind cover, roll your shooter over behind the corner guard. This is really curling. Might be able to move them both. Does. And gets behind a piece behind the corner anyway.
Yeah, just a sliver under. So McDonald's just going to take this out in line 3. Here's Gushue. Oh, this one's not wide, Sean.
No. And really, really quiet.
Just gets past the guard. Big scrub.
I didn't see the weight call, but that's just barely hack, and he could see all of that. I would have expected, a little bit more weight. It's probably a double and roll behind the yellow now.
Yeah, huge scrub by Humanicki there. And that makes that double and rolls under cover. Sweet.
And it's shot rock, so Jordan's going to play the run.
Could not have walked that down better.
Tough to, you can roll towards the rings, but I don't think you can get in on this one either. If you make the double. If you don't make the double, it really doesn't matter if you roll in.
Jordon McDonald with his first and the second. Needs to make this short double. Not really even laying a brush to it. Bang, bang, there they go. Well executed, but now you do give Brad Gushue a chance to make a skipper's deuce here.
Yeah. It is going to be a short run on the red, so I don't know whether he plays the draw here or hits the outside one. Well, I think they're hitting the outside one, although he talked about both, and honestly, this is probably the broom for either shot.
On the way from Gushue.
Wants to stick around, but he's not trying to roll towards the guards.
He does stick around on the outside of the 12-foot. Come on.
McDonald's thinking about playing the draw here.
Yeah, I know. That's why I just gave that extra sigh there, buddy.
Because of who it is that this surprises me a little bit. Who it is and who you're playing. Like, he even talked about trying to bring this deep to make sure that it's over buried on the long guard, but the problem is the deeper you put this, the more room there is to chase it, and it's Brad Gushue. He's only going to need to move it. He doesn't need to get it all the way out of the 12-foot for two.
So Jordon McDonald showing no fear here. He says, let's go. I got a chance to steal. Let's try it. Big stone here.
It's the same size as all the rest of them, actually.
Trying to carve this one over. It does have to move. It's way the heck out there.
Yeah,
And this is not good if it stays out there.
yeah, there's definitely going to be room for the chase.
Oh, you can chase that all day. So that was a danger there, Sean.
Yeah, and I mean, he was honestly, I don't think he was playing for the steal because he talked about back 8 before he called the shot, so he's trying to overbury it. That was all about trying for the force. The problem is you might have forced him to play a shot for 2, and if he makes it, I mean, you could have played the hit and the long roll to get to the same thing, and then you're not risking 2. I thought he'd be hitting there for sure. You hit and roll to the back of the 4-foot. This opportunity is never there.
Final still in the second end. And just needs a little tap back for a deuce.
Definitely
Nichols
committed
is
by the
on
guard.
this one pretty hard. It's got to get past side guard. Looks like they have room. Now they're going to carve it over. And Walker walks it right on over. And they will get there too. So Gushue gets 2. McDonald has a hammer when we come back.
Aztec Safety is #1 for online safety training.
Aztec Safety is the proud sponsor of the Aztec Safety Challenge, the #1 event on the World Curling Tour.
And Aztec Safety has been a proud sponsor of Team Jacobs on our quest to represent Canada at the Olympic Games.
Welcome back to Martensville. Deuce for Brad Gushue there. In end number 2, and well, Sean, we are talking during the break. Just a strategy error from McDonald.
Well, yeah, and an error it's not the shot I would have expected him to play, and he could get the same thing out of the hit and roll. That is his strength. You play the hit and roll off that stone on the edge of the 12-foot, roll to the back 4-foot, and you're still getting the force. You're still in a steal position, and you didn't have to give up a shot for 2, which that's the part that surprises me about it more than anything else. You know, you flip the tables here. If it's Brad Gushue throwing there, it wouldn't have shocked me to see him play the draw. He plays those so well. It's just, given who it is, it just didn't seem consistent with the way he plays most of the rest of the game.
And I agree with you, Sean. Error may have been the incorrect word. It's more not the choice we expected.
Yeah, it was out of character for him, and you know, didn't make it as well as he could have either.
Well, there's always that. This draw is going to make it undercover. Overbury by a couple Scotias.
Overberry's always fine when you're coming around a corner guard like that, just your own corner guard. If you force the team without last rock to play it from the wide side, the worst you're going to have is the same shot. That's why you can see Brad would like to play it from the center line side. He's got more good options off this side if they don't get exactly what they're looking for.
He is going to give it a go. Brendan Botcher. Briar winning skip himself. He just took it. And McDonald has a big score in his mind.
Yeah. Well, that guard's tight. It's probably arguably more dangerous to him than the stone in the 4-foot right now. But he's not really looking at the double. He's looking at, because it's so tight to the rings, you could hit and probably roll in. You could get kind of a double corner out of it, but also have a second biter. He's looking at just rolling to a corner. I don't mind the bigger roll. You get the piece in behind that longer guard. It still protects that stone on the edge of the 4-foot, and there's a chance the edge of the 12-foot, and there's a chance it's biting the rings.
Yeah, that's a shot that comes to mind for me.
Well, if it's biting too, it's not like Gushue's likely to ignore two stones in the rings. He's going to have to address one of them, and then the stone in the center stays open.
You see that hit, and it does hang on and spin up. They lie 1-2 out there.
Might have left him enough to make the double. You probably have to try it.
Is there any benefit to throwing a draw undercover?
No, because anything undercover's on the corner, and that plays into McDonald's hands. He would love to have a chase game around the corner right now with last rock.
So Botcher, always been good with his upweight ability. Oh, how they got...
Not so good at that one.
That one wasn't so super, no. I threw the kibosh on him there. Sorry, Brendan.
Yeah, your choices now are you could guard that for a while and hope they miss the run because they are going to play it. Or you play to the open side, give them that double, and then try to hold your deuce. And they've elected to split the house. The double still has to be made. I mean, they're fairly close together. If you're going to make the double, you're probably losing the shooter.
And we're just going to split the house and lie 3.
You don't want to be too deep here. That actually might give them a chance for a triple. That should be good there.
Certainly no triple, but you got to try the double.
You got to try the double, and you're trying to work the rocks back so that they're closer together. You've got one double is there now, but you need to try to set up another one. Hard to make this double without losing the shooter. That's the problem. So as the brushers switch sides, I guess this is going to be an outturn. They don't want Brendan on the inside very often if they can help it.
He gets a lot of guff, but he does okay. But when you have one sweeper that's a little stronger than the other, you want to take advantage of that whenever you can. Now, can they get this one underneath? They did accomplish their goal. They made the double and got them a lot closer.
That was really good.
I'd go as far as saying that's really, really good. Shakochie trying to increase the separation factor here. Quiet wait again.
Ooh, that was
no.
An attempt at a plan B to feather Tick, and I don't know that they needed a sweep to do that. Not a lot of weight on that, but again, when you're trying to roll big to the other side, he definitely, I think, underthrew one last end. I would argue that was probably a little underthrown as well.
So get out of jail free card here for Brad Gushue. McDonald's going to try to work his way back to a blank, most likely. Hitting stick right there.
Yeah, I think if Brad hits it right on the nose again, he'll be in the rings. Can't afford any roll to the outside at all, or he'll be out, and then they just have to make a play on the back one. If he rolls towards the middle, it makes the double a little bit more attractive.
They make that hit and stick there on the outside.
So now if you're hitting this one, if you're McDonald, I think you're playing the double. To roll in front doesn't do you any good anymore. It's too late in the end. So they're lining up the slash double. Got to make it here, or you'll see Brad split the rings and you'll be forced.
Over in our other game, it's Mike McEwen with a 2-0 lead over Tuma. Good deal pace here from McDonald. Clips the outside and over the top it goes. So just a big split here?
Yeah, just anywhere on the other side. I don't even think you're too worried about leave it a double, because to play that, to try the double and roll out and risk not getting the second stone, that's a steal. So I don't think they're going to do that.
So the intern draw from Brad Gushue.
Try to put this back 8 foot so that he doesn't have the choice to even try the double for the blank. But I don't think he'd be too worried about him trying it.
That's going to be just fine.
Yeah, if he was going to play the double now, he'd have to play the slash, and he's just going to hit the back one and try to take his single.
McDonald facing 2 here, just needs to hit and stick for his single. Final stone of the third end. Pretty hard on the brush to hold it here. Gotta hang around. And you do. You get your 1. Cut the deficit in half. Brad Gushue will have the hammer when we come back from Martensville after this.
Who knew after 20 years in real estate I'd have to make silly videos for Instagram and come out behind a tree?
Stu, we need to do this stuff.
Why can't I just door knock into open houses like I did in the old days?
That doesn't work anymore.
Okay, so it's because I'm sitting here behind a tree. Come use us for real estate.
All right, real talk for a second. If your snack situation hasn't changed in years, maybe it's time for an upgrade. The Chocolate Lab makes legit chocolate that's worth paying attention to. That's it. Back to whatever you were doing.
Welcome back to Martensville. Single point for Jordon McDonald. Force was executed by Brad Gushue, and he has the hammer up by 1. You see this first card did come into the rings. So it is dispatched promptly.
Yeah, I might have liked to keep his shooter in place somewhere, but it rolls out.
So Cameron Olson will try and do a little bit better. A lot of folks joining us right now. Thank you so much for tuning in live. If you haven't subscribed to Curling Zone on YouTube, please consider it. We'd really appreciate it. Jeff Walker looking for the come around. This is not coming up enough.
Get a little spin at the end, they can bury a piece of it. Now,
Edge on edge.
Yeah, he's got probably a quarter underneath.
So now we're going to have the stack attack. This one is a touch heavy and wide.
Yeah, you would like to get to the inside here. Or at least stay enough on top of it that it couldn't be removed, but they've left air. There's room to get the hit and the roll underneath.
Gets past the guard, gonna make that hit and roll undercover. Does stick out the other side a bit. McDonald looking at the straight run. Humanicki fires. Right down Broadway. Gauthier on the sweep. 1-2. Gets the other one moving, but not all the way out.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing as Brad. There's an argument now to be made to roll away from that guard. Kind of split the rings. Yes, it's a short roll on the one that's left at the side of the forefoot to get buried, but there'll be a lot of separation between the guard, the rock, and the rings, and they've already shown they're pretty good at the chase.
The last time we said Botcher was good at something, we messed it up, so let's not say that.
Yeah, this doesn't look like he's getting the roll away for sure.
We're 2 for 2, buddy. Here's Jacques Gauthier. Joined Team McDonald this year. Hit and stick, they lie 1-2.
Double would be thin, so they're just going to look to hit and roll on top.
Stone on the way from Bam Bam. Oh, catches it thin and didn't get anything. So we're missing some blocks and tackles here, Sean.
Yeah. So now for McDonald, it's like, well, we've got a chance to force here. There's not really a good steal setup. You're not going to guard either one of those two rocks because Brad Gushue will just switch gears on you and come around. You don't want to leave a triple, so they're talking about back 8 foot.
Olsen, Humanicki giving it a couple little strokes there. He left the way to kill two of them.
Yeah, but if you have to roll to the outside to make the double, that's not as advantageous because you need to find a way to set up two doubles, and it's got to be this shot and the next one. So you could actually make a case for hit the one that was just thrown, roll over, and sit on the corner. The other one's actually a pretty good result. I don't know if that's what he's looking at. He's still looking at the double.
So looking to take out two red stones here with one yellow. Walker on the sweep. 1 and 2, there they go. Spins on up. Gonna be second shot.
Yeah, but you make the nose hit here, and Gushue was forced. I thought he'd look a little harder at just play the hit and roll on top of that stone. Because you get cornered on it, I think you'd have still been shot rock. Then maybe McDonald blasts it, rolls out, makes a shot for you, and you get back to a blank. Right now, knowing that you're going to be forced, I don't even see where he could try to play something to try to set up a deuce. Short of trying to come around that stone in the 8-foot, I guess. It's tough to be shot rock and be buried. So you hit the one in the 8-foot and try to roll all the way across behind the one that was just thrown. You can play pretty aggressively for this roll too.
Yeah, worst thing that happens, you're drawing the 8-foot. And they'll spill it.
Looks like Jordan's content to just split the house nice and wide. I thought they might at least try to think about, okay, where do you think, what's the fine line? Where is the point where you make Brad think about, am I hitting this or drawing? And it's Brad, so...
Brad's going to draw.
Probably. Full 8 even, he's probably drawing. But, with this broom, they're going to go much wider than full 8. Way he threw it, maybe they aren't. He's got quite a pronounced backwards motion on that out turn.
And there you go. It's even up there. No hesitation for Brad Gushue. This will draw all day.
Yeah, no, and there couldn't be those. You couldn't hit either one of those stones on the nose to be shot rock, so you got to draw. You only need to just about bite the 8-foot.
Facing two's final stone of the fourth for Brad Gushue. Just watching this one come down. And that's going to be just fine. Put one yellow on the board. 3-1 after 4. We'll be back from Martensville in just a moment.
Yes, yes.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, boy.
Really?
Welcome back to Martensville. It's the Curling Stadium, Martensville International Bonspiel. Semi-final action here between Jordon McDonald and Brad Gushue. There's a single point for Gushue in end number 4. McDonald has the hammer, throwing the red here in the 5th. Second, we'll try to get you an update on the other game that we have right now. Connor can sneak a peek for us. Yeah, right there it is, all the way over there. And Mike McEwen has yellow. And
So
it's
with
2
the
to
lead
1.
and the hammer, as they play in 4 over there.
So they're just a skosh behind our pace.
Look at the freeze there. Didn't quite get down to the face of it. Brad's thinking about throwing the guard. Which, you know, if that one's dead frozen, I don't think he's playing the guard here.
And we talked a lot last game about strategy and timing and when you make your move. So you're trailing by 2. What is your move and what's your end plan going forward, looking at the hammers and such?
Well, I mean, you're down by 2. If you're McDonald, this is still the 5th. I think at this point in the game, you got to be trying to get 2 when you can get it. Get back to even, and then worry about odd versus even end. Now, you know, there are some teams that would still try to hold on to the hammer into the even end. the ice and rock conditions here probably, I think, should factor into that a bit. The deuces haven't been as easy to come by here this weekend.
So you're saying if you see a chance to score 2, take it.
You better take it, yeah.
And what is it about the ice and rock conditions that would make a 2 tougher to come by?
And we've discussed this a few times. We're out of it. We've seen more open misses than you normally would expect.
So we see Shotstone. They're in the 4-foot for yellow. And Sean, it looks like they're looking for the little run back here. So, Shotstone belonging to Jordon McDonald. Second rock, Brad Gushue. And Gushue sees McDonald with a little bit of stuff cooking here. Trying to make something happen. Mark Nichols. Runs it back and runs it right on by.
You would have bet there wasn't a hole through there to not hit something else.
And welcome back, Sean.
Yeah, I got dropped out of there. I didn't even realize it was gone for a second.
Well, in the meantime, while you were gone, we solved the problem of cold fusion. So it looks like McDonald's just looking to rattle these around a little bit. Here's Gauthier. And a very soft release. That's a much more pronounced delivery there. So much so that they needed to curl.
I'm not convinced that they did. I guess it depends on which way you were playing that. It worked out okay because I think they lined up the two reds to go towards the yellow. Now, if you hit it on the center line side, it might drag past. Try to make the double, you might lose your shooter.
chance that this goes onto the back yellow, too, if you hit it wrong.
I think they're counting on it dragging enough to miss it. But I'm not positive it does, but...
So the shot from Nichols, back fourth and onto the back yellow, and you're going to lose all of them now.
Yeah, it did not drag enough to go by it, so Donald's got his chance to split the rings anyway. Now it is a short run on the yellow-red at the top.
As we mentioned earlier, you see your chance, you take it. To my eyes, Sean, it didn't look like that shot ever went the way you wanted it to.
Well, if you make the double and hold your shooter in behind cover, like you're not worried about losing the back one, but just a little full maybe, or with that weight, it just didn't come up like they thought it might. They weren't looking for a lot of curl, but they were looking for some.
So Gauthier looking to split the rings. Olsen and Hubenicki getting the last licks in. We'll do the job.
The run double's probably there, though. We're trying to get that a little bit deeper. You get it a little bit deeper, and the double's tougher.
This will be one heck of a shot. So you're gonna take your Yellowstone, hit your own, and then use that to make the double takeout. Big time shot on the way from Brad Gushue. His first of the fifth. Nichols there to hold it. Push it back, run it over. Does it get all the way across? It's going to come really close, but not able to make that double.
Well, and I think the red still shot rock.
Does appear to be. You know whose opinion we need on this? Trevor Johnson. He'll tell you, get him off the other.
He'd already have the broom down.
You had to have watched our quarterfinal game this morning. Trevor Johnson running the house for Team Clyder. Had a couple stones that everybody was debating. He said, I got this all day. I know exactly what stone shot.
He's the only one that didn't take 40 seconds to look at it.
It was just, he was standing behind the hack saying, why are you even looking? Got it by a mile. So if you are shot, you just draw under, right?
Well, there's still a case to be made for hitting that yellow and rolling across, because you draw under, you might leave so you play off the yellow to play into the one that you're about to throw, and it might catch the other one as well. And if you are drawing under, how deep do you want to be? Brad will follow it down, sit on top of it, and that'll eliminate the stone in the 12 foot. You'll have to throw another draw to get your deuce.
Right.
You have to be careful how deep you come. You come deep enough where a quarter rock off the yellow would make the double onto the one you're about to throw. Brad probably thinks about it, because that quarter rock would be what he needs to jam the yellow into the red. He still might end up just following you down, but
First of 2 here for McDonald. He really needs his deuce here in 5.
You sure don't want to be behind the tee. Then he's following you down, and you might only get one.
This is checking up. Gonna be above the tee. That's not too bad.
Yeah, the double's probably there if he wants to go after it, because it is thin enough. Like, it's a quarter rock will make it. But there's a lot of room between the yellow and the red.
Yeah, certainly carries a lot of risk. I'm thinking Brad's going to follow it down and try to throw a good one.
Yeah, well, I would have thought so too, but he's willing to take a look at it for sure. Like, you... It's hard to imagine you're not getting one of the reds here. The only way you don't get one of them is you hit this way too thick.
So, a quarter of a stone will do it. You miss it? No, it's just not good. His last of the 5th. One, two across the way. No, you don't move it far enough. And it's going to be a open draw for 2 for Jordon McDonald. Let's see if we can take another look at that.
You can almost see them getting caught here where, you know, they know somebody's going to have to sweep, but they weren't sure who. Both brushes went down for half a second. He did touch the stone any thinner at all on the first one, and he gets the second one.
So close, but it's a game of millimeters. So a draw to the paint for his deuce. Jordon McDonald, final stone of the 5th. He's got it, no problem. Put that 2 on the board. We're all tied up. Heading into the 6th end, we got a great one in Martensville. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Developed over a decade in collaboration with the finest ice makers this side of the Atlantic, the Pebblehead PB5 is nothing short of a triumph of sophistication and craftsmanship. Weighing less than half its lumbering copper predecessors, yet boasting tenfold their durability, the PB5 delivers perfect, consistent ice, time after time. The PB5 by Pebbleheads.com, the apex of ice-making ingenuity for the roaring game of curling.
Brett, come on, man. I know Aztec's #1 for online safety training, but we really should be out here practicing.
I know, guys. I'll be right there. Just let me finish this course on gas detection. Wait. Do you smell that?
And welcome back to Martensville. We have a tied-up affair here. 3-3 between Jordon McDonald and Brad Gushue. Semi-final action at the Martensville Curling Stadium International Manitoba. So happy you could be joining us here this Sunday. Championship Sunday. Dave Schmel, Sean Joyce, and Connor Sims here with you. So now we get to talk about the even odd end stuff.
Yeah, true. Brad's got last rock and the even end of a tie game. You saw him throw the corner guard already. And this is not just him. This is with a lot of these top teams. You get into this situation and they're a little bit more inclined to play aggressively in the even end. If you can get your deuce, you're in great shape. If you have to take a single, you've still got the lead. Going into 7, you're going to try to force. You have a hammer again in 8. You know you got 2 hammers to 1, essentially.
This one looks really heavy off the hand of Olofsson, and it is wide.
Yes, that rock screams, ignore me. Come around the corner guard.
Second stone from Jeff Walker, who makes a better door than window. Gets 3/4 under. So Humanicki's going to chase this. And that was executed quite well. Does slide behind the tee line, leaving some freeze opportunities, but bringing that play back towards the center.
Yeah, it doesn't really need to be all the way down to the freeze either. That's why you see Brad looking at the top 4 foot. You come around from this in-turn side, get to the top 4 foot. Even if you leave a piece open, the side that's going to be open, all it's doing is jamming onto that open stone. He's still got a double, I think, off the outside too. So he's not real worried about even necessarily being shot here. You just need to get the yellow in a spot where they can't get it out. He can deal with the reds later. This is not anywhere in the playbook.
Fair to say, not the best game for Brendan today.
No, and that flips things around from, you were in okay shape to this is now starting to look like the potential for a steal. I think you're going to see...
definitely advantage McDonald.
You're going to have to see a run, I think, on the next one. Angle, double run.
Do need this one to get there. Well, they're going to play the guard now.
Yeah, well, I don't think he played the guard. He signaled 4 foot.
No, he ended up with it, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it certainly closes off the house. It changes the shot here because you got a chance to get one in front of the tee line still for shot rock. It's the house is going to be quite closed down.
I don't see a huge score for either team. It's just which one is it going to be. This one is a bit heavy.
Yeah, 2 rocks in a row come light, so this one's heavy.
And that says freeze all day.
Yeah, You make the freeze, and it's looking like a very potential steal. Something will have to get blasted.
So key shot of the end and possibly the game here for Gushue. Talking with the front end, trying to figure out the speed. And it's on the way.
A lot of room coming by.
Just a skosh heavy there, too.
Well, and too much line.
Yeah, shot stone you see belongs to Team Gushue.
Yeah, they're just handing opportunities back and forth here. Somebody makes a 4-point shot, and the end is likely going their direction. Thought he might actually throw a little more weight than this. He doesn't need to. He doesn't need to kill the red stone, but he definitely needs to make sure they get the roll in, and they're just talking about back 8-foot weight here.
So Nichols with a touch shot here. Botcher on the carve. Can he get it moving far enough? Don't think he can, Sean.
Well, that was always the problem with that weight. Like, you're trying to throw back 8-foot weight. You still need to roll a foot, and you've only got 3 feet of weight left on the rock when it gets there. That's just, and it under rolled. Like, I think he can get to that with enough weight to double the yellows. You might have to take it off one of the reds, but that's fine. You don't need to whip it. Bumper. Get to the nose with bumper. That'll do it.
Yeah, because the yellow doesn't have to completely clear the rings. It just...
This looks quieter too, though. This looks like they're playing the heavy draw.
Gushue. His last of the sixth.
Better line early if they get it by.
Olsen with his head down all day here. Got to get by the top guard. Got to get by. You squeeze it by. Yes.
I don't know if he's got enough weight.
Tap it. Roll it over. I think your shot. Nothing else here in a great spot. That is shot stone for red. Thank you, Brad, for tapping on it. We appreciate that. Oh, that was a big scrub by Cameron Olsen. He has earned himself a cocktail. Is he old enough to drink it?
Not sure about that one. I'd have to look it up.
This one has to go.
Well, he just needs to get the corner freeze for now. It actually curled more than they would have liked. He'd like to still be able to see a piece of that yellow to do something with it.
So, a couple different options here. What do you say, Sean?
Could blast the yellows, for sure, you could. Probably losing one red when you do that.
What about the outturn tap on your own red?
I don't love that. You're already shot. The tap could put it behind the tee line, and I don't think you want to move that back yellow right now. You could make an argument for a guard.
I don't hate that at all.
Brad's always going to have something to run in. The thing is, though, that the angle that everything's at, he can run yellow, or he can run something in, hit yellow onto red. The red's not leaving, but if it just rattles between those two reds at the back of the forefoot, yellow could be sitting 3.
So do you play a little down weight on the yellow on the T line and try to shimmy in a skosh?
That's scary, because if you ever roll to the outside, you leave a double on the reds.
Umanicki making the, McDonald making the case of the guard. Now all 4 players are going to speak about this one. Definitely warranted. Key spot in the game.
Yeah. I think when they were gesturing towards the quarter freeze on the top one, that's something they're worried about, not something they want to do.
I think they're trying to
freeze the top.
hit and shimmy in.
Yeah, I'm not sure with that ice. Yeah, I'm not at all certain what they're playing here. That ice.
There's not a single shot that's not scary,
like
Sean.
enough.
Every shot is scary.
I'm not too scared of the guard. Like he's playing a hit. Quiet hit, but a hit.
Yep, Jordon McDonald with about bumper weight.
Well, you roll to the outside here, you could give up 4.
Olafson, Umanicki, back and forth. They must like it. Pass the guards. Got to come up a little bit more. Got to come up more. Got to come up more. Yeah. So shot stone to McDonald.
I wondered about this too. So Brad's thinking hit the outside of the 2 reds that were right beside each other. You hit the outside of it. It clips the other red, so both guards are going to be gone, and it's going to come back into the forefoot somewhere. Yeah. And if it comes onto the yellow at the top of the 4, you could end up sitting 2 out of this. Even if it comes past it, like if it spins over the top of that and hits the red that was just delivered because of the angle it's coming at, it could get rid of a couple of red stones.
This is what he wanted to throw. The broom went down instantly. And this one is way the heck outside.
He's on the wrong side of it.
It's got a long, long way to go. That's not going to help. All right, well, at least things are more exposed now, but...
Yeah, it leaves the yellow onto the red.
He just lost that one on the release, Sean.
Yeah, I was surprised to see him play it from that side, to be honest. You're asking for a rock to curl. You didn't really need to. You could have played the in-turn. Put the broom on the edge of the rock. That's where you wanted to hit it anyway.
He's tapping back onto the yellow, eh?
He's doing more than tapping with that ice. I mean, it will get rid of some of the backing. I don't love this, though.
Now you see where Gushue is lining it up. You make it good, there's going to be difficult for Brad to score. You make it wrong, There's a big number in play.
Yeah, because I mean the back yellow is not the one that he's driving it onto first. It's right in front of a red. That one's not going very far.
The last from Jordon McDonald here in the 6th. Nicky on the car. Got to tick it over, and they lie 1-2. They got what they wanted.
Yeah, and I think the angle is still such that the yellow-red, he's not going to get both of them. Brad might actually have to concede one here.
Well, they're going to take a good look at it.
You can play the yellow at the top of the 4-foot onto the red. That's second shot, but I don't think it's touching the other one at all. Even if it does, it's going into the yellow at the side.
And you're probably losing the yellow.
The shot, the raised stone, probably not. He's going to try to hit half a rock here, so it'll stuff it, but it's not going to be shot rock unless it moves the other one. And to me, it looks like it goes by.
So facing 2, probably looking to just cut down the damage. Final stone of end number 6. Clips it and does give up the steal of 1. McDonald gets one, has a 1-stone advantage because she will have the hammer in 7. We come back to Martensville on Curling Stadium.
Aztec Safety is #1 for online safety training.
Aztec Safety is the proud sponsor of the Aztec Safety Challenge, the #1 event on the World Curling Tour.
And Aztec Safety has been a proud sponsor of Team Jacobs on our quest to represent Canada at the Olympic Games.
Welcome back. A steal 1 for Jordon McDonald in the 6th. Because she will have the hammer here in 7. From the Yellowstones to semifinals in Martensville, the Curling Stadium International. Thank you so much for joining us on this beautiful Sunday. We've had no shortage of good curling this weekend. And it's continuing now, and we got 2 more ends to decide a winner.
Or 3.
That's right, 9. Along with Sean Joyce, I am Dave Hextra and Schmel. Our producer is Connor Sims. So to that point, Sean, how long does Brad push hard for 2 here?
Well, generally speaking, I would say probably not long. He might like to have last rock in the extra end, but this goes back to what we were talking about earlier, where this weekend the deuces haven't been as easy to come by. If you can get the deuce here, you might be more comfortable having the lead. We talk about this all the time. It's been talked about since before the 5 guard, even in the 4 rock free guard zone. You talked about, would you rather be 1 up coming home without last rock or 1 down with? And they talk about it in general terms. I think one of the things that has to factor in or should factor in is the conditions on the weekend that you're playing. And this weekend, the deuces have been a little tougher to come by. So I think that lead might be a little bit more important. Bit of a bad break there, because not only did they not make the shot they were intending when they touched the corner guard, they still left that stone in the rings partly covered. Brad's thinking about throwing a guard, which would actually protect both. You could play the split too. That's an option.
I don't hate that.
Could make a play to the back one too if you want to keep the blank alive. You don't have to kill it, but you make the play to it. Then you're either going to have your chance for 2 or probably McDonald has to kill it. The only the most open stone right now, that one on the top of the 8-foot, if you leave that for McDonald to hit after you freeze to this back one, he still can't get shot rock. I don't even think he can get second. So this isn't, I don't mind this. Kind of keeps everything alive. If Jordan's going to go after hitting this rock in the back somehow, and I mean, it might be a double, he's probably taking the red one with it, then you're back to a blank possibility.
Swinging this one around the outside, and it's going to come on down to that back one. Nestle right there.
Yeah, cues it up on the inside a little bit, because the only double that might have been available was to drive that one on the 8-foot back. Well, it's now on the wrong angle to get the second one out.
Do have the slash in the other two, but you would lose the shooter most likely.
Yeah. So he's actually going to try coming off the one in the 8-foot, have the shooter come into that stone that was just thrown. You're still going to move the back one, might kill it, but he has to break the existing freeze. That red one back there's not really helping you right now.
So, Elias Humanicki that's way off the mark.
Yeah. Creates a problem for Brad, though. He's almost got too many rocks in play already.
See that little shrug. Where do I put it?
Yeah. Don't want to leave him a triple. The split on that stone in the 8-foot still might be the best option. Well, he's looking at getting the guard out of the way and getting another one into the rings. That's great if you make it. That's a tough shot.
Problem with top 4 is you invite McDonald to shrink the scoring zone.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like they settled on the peel.
It's not going to be a peel. It's like a split. He wants to get the shooter into the rings. Like it's the best result, but it's the toughest shot. I thought he might still look at the split on the Yellowstone in the top 8.
Calling for a tap weight here.
Yeah, playing the split. Would love to get the shooter into the rings, even if it's just a corner guard on, I guess, probably the wider one at this point in time. You don't want to stay too close to the center line.
Hard on the carve. It's past everything. But not quite. It does unlock that back freeze.
Yeah.
Question is, how can McDonald take advantage of it?
Not looking for the double here. He doesn't need to move the second yellow one now. Before he was planning to move it just because he needed to break the freeze. The freeze is already broken. Kind of wants to roll cornered in front of that Yellowstone if he could.
Yep, on top of it. Gauthier with the delivery here in the 7th. Olsen trying to hold it there. Gets it. How far it will walk? Not too far. Just about sauntered.
Gives Brad a chance to get them spread out a little bit better. He can make the short angle run and roll all the way across the other side. I don't think he wants, I mean, he's signaling the other side, but I don't think he ever wants to be under the guard here.
First from Nichols here. Botcher on the card. Move it, touch their own the way by. They still sit 3.
Yeah, get away with that. It's not the way they wanted to hit it, but still no real obvious doubles.
At some point, McDonald's got to consider drawing his way out of it. Which is scary.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure that he does. Like, the hit and roll is still a good option here. And you do always have slash doubles. Like, you give up 2 is not the end of the world. Give up 3 or 4 is really bad. There is a double, a slash double right now, but you lose your shooter, and then Gushue gets a chance to come around, so 3's not really gone yet. You get the hit and roll under. You probably, even though you only kill 1, you probably eliminate 2 if you get the roll under here.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, hard for that yellow at the back now to ever come back.
Think about digging it out. You see there's about 6 inches of air there. Or just draw.
problem with the straight draw is it's hard to bring any of the yellows back into play. Then you're just playing for 2 again.
And they're going to go have a mound visit. So in your mind's eye, what's the best shot?
I'm not entirely sure. If you could, yeah. I don't love the top stone where it is right now. I wish they would have played a split on it earlier. You could still now, although I'm not sure you get shot rock, but you could be buried, sit 2, 3, and 4, and that stone at the back starts to look pretty lonely. The scary thing about drawing top 4 is that it would leave the slash double. Makes the slash double, you're coming around again, you're going to have a shot for 2. If you're still thinking 3, you have to move that red stone at the back. And it's not easy to do.
Taking a look at our other game, Mike McEwen has a 5-1 lead over Kevin Tuma. Playing the 7th end, Tuma has a hammer. So McDonald is hoping for a Mick final. Wonder if that comes with fries.
Don't make me think about food. It was not nearly enough lunch. And if we go to an extra end here, there's not going to be a long turnaround for the next one either. Line looks really good. Does he have enough weight to move it?
It's going to get on down to it. They touch it and move it just a little bit.
That's fine. He didn't need to necessarily get it out now. He just needed to get it into a spot where the yellow doesn't go away.
Shot's down for Gushue, and now McDonald's going to follow it down. On the way, trying to get on in there and make the force happen. Olsen carving it over. Got plenty of weight, gets right up to the face, and that's going to do just fine. Did move it probably a little more than they wanted to, though.
Yeah. I have to think Brad's looking at the angle.
I know Mark is.
You don't have to play it now. I mean, you could draw. If you could get the draw to the inside of that red stone, it's still there on the last one. It's just we saw the last two. Neither one of them threatened to cross. If you could freeze right there, then the yellow angle is still there for... Well, if you could make it as a freeze, the last shot's there for 3. absolutely lock this on the inside corner, and Jordon McDonald might have to hit the yellow one at the top, the 8 foot on the nose, and concede the shot for 2 so that it's not a shot for 3. But that's, that's all predicated on this has to cross. It's not looking as good from the Hacks.
And Brad's going to skate on down and take another gander at this.
I'm not sure he's looking at the run. I think he's thinking he can get there through the port.
I think he can too.
Boy, there's no plan B off any kind of rub here. And you rub that yellow one, you probably take away the shot you'd have had with your last one.
So going for the gusto, but frankly, with Brad's resume, he can go for any shot he wants. First at 2 here in the 7th.
Gotta go. That's all over the guard.
It's not even have a chance now. They're going to try to manufacture a plan B here.
Never had the weight either.
Oh, that's just a full miss there.
Well, he's got the angle in for 2. The easiest way to take that away is to hit that right on the nose.
Right, take it. Yeah, take out the yellow.
He's got the angle from the other side, but he's got the angle running from the other side, but the angles aren't as good in the house.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with your first instinct, Sean. Just
he's going to
take away that one that's just playing it. And Humaniki just threw his challenge flag. Second gets one of them per game.
Well, the problem with the guard, I mean, it's got to be long. If you're tight with the guard, the double run is no harder. Not going to think about hitting it. He's going to play the guard, which is fine. You dare not be too tight on this and angle it to make it easier. This has to boil down to the issue that really both teams have had with line on hits. He's probably a little scared to hit it on the outside, so he's just going to cover it.
McDonald.
Not sure what that option was that they were looking at. Yeah.
I think he's just trying to envision it. His last of the 7th. Looking to make this as difficult on Brad Gushue as he possibly can. It's all about the line here. That's pretty good. So it's going to be the other run, but as we said, it's not the best angle.
The angle's not as good on the other one. I think you could make a case that the double run might be no harder. Anyway, might be easier. It's close to a nose hit now.
So Gushue settles in. He's facing one. It's got this long run back. Final stone of the 7th. On this one to curl. This one's outside again. Gets up and over the top, and it's another steal of one for Jordon McDonald. They'll take a 2-stone lead into the 8th. Back from Martensville in just a moment.
Who knew after 20 years in real estate I'd have to make silly videos for Instagram and come out behind a tree?
Stu, we need to do this stuff.
Why can't I just door knock into open houses like I did in the old days?
That doesn't work anymore.
Okay, so it's because I'm sitting here behind a tree. Come use us for real estate.
All right, real talk for a second. If your snack situation hasn't changed in years, maybe it's time for an upgrade. The Chocolate Lab makes legit chocolate that's worth paying attention to. That's it. Back to whatever you were doing.
Welcome back. It's end number 8 here in Martensville. Semifinal action between Jordon McDonald and Brad Gushue. Steal 1 for McDonald and end number 7, Sean.
Yeah, steal a 1, but still within reach for Brad Gushue. The interesting thing here will be to see what he does with these corner guards. They threw the first one tight to the rings. They maybe didn't get as far off the line as they would have liked either. Have to think he's probably going to stack him with that one being that tight.
Been back and forth. Both teams have had their opportunities, and McDonald's just got a better end of it by a little bit.
So they are going to stack the corners, even though they're not going to be very far off the line. Jordon threw 2 into the house so far, and that'll be the next one that's interesting. Does he throw 3 right in and force Brad to start dealing with them right away, or do you guard those 2? Not because you definitely need to protect them, but because you need to make it tough for Brad to deal with them.
Want to get this one a little bit further off the line than this. Here's the last bit of finish. You see, that's been a characteristic of the Stones here this weekend. They really corkscrew in hard at the end.
You see the call. He's coming right in, trying to tap this again. I'm not sure I'm sold. He's talking about coming across and tapping it a little bit wider. I don't like making a wider target in the house. Ideally, when you're coming in on these, you're trying to leave everything in a straight line.
I saw the finger up from Gushue, indicating it's a bit heavy.
Yeah, you didn't want to chip it and roll to the corner, so now they're going to take it right through.
That's probably just fine, really.
Well, it's better than hanging around in the back 12, for sure. Better than splitting the one at the top, too. You start making a wall. That's just what Brad wants.
Brendan Botcher. Joined this team after skipping Team Alberta.
And now the peels can start. I expect it's... Okay, where are we at? Seconds last stone. I would think guard, peel, guard, peel. Then you might think about looping around. Got to get this to cover up the tight guard, though.
They do get it over. They get it over far enough?
Yes, because any attempt to peel from that side's going into something red. He doesn't want to do that.
So Jordan thinking about digging it out. Nope, back to the peel.
I'd have been shocked if he'd tried to dig that out.
He thought about it for a moment.
I don't think he really did. That might have been one of those ones where you signal it because you're hoping to talk your opposition into not throwing one more card.
Maybe he just did.
Well, he might have. And I mean, there's a case for it anyway. You're on third's first stone here, and you'd like to score 3. You can't afford to leave a double.
And Mark Nichols is going to come on down and talk about this.
You loop right around everything. There's nothing easy to be removed. You freeze your own, they're trying the run back. If they miss it, you're going to have to guard. Which is fine.
And as I talk about, I'll talk about just briefly something that we haven't talked about all weekend, but bears mentioning. Brad Gushue, of course, has announced that this is his final season of competitive curling, and man, what a career it's been. 2 Olympic medals, 6 Brier titles, a world title, 15-time Grand Slam winner. What a showing by Brad.
So they're going to play the loop around. Scariest part of this is you make it really good. Jordon McDonald might try the run back to get all three of them. That's pretty good. Tough to get all three of them. I mean, it's not impossible. You play the run, catch about a third on the board side, and it goes towards the other one. You get all of them, the game's just about over.
So Gushue with the heat. Olsen on the line. They're going to just catch the top guy.
Yeah, you missed the one in the rings, and three's in play now.
Hang on to your seats.
Play the double right now, you could.
That's going to be the call here for Nichols.
Even if you're sliver high side, jam the first one and roll your shooter behind cover is probably not bad.
Gets the 1, gets the 2, and they lie 1, 2, and 3. Got to try this double back, eh?
I think so. 8 feet between them, but you need this double. You make the double here, you're never worse than an extra end.
So Gauthier lining it up. Just no should do it. You see them taking the ice right in the middle of the stone. McDonald with his first here in the 8th needs this double takeout. Back and forth. It's close. Going to make it the other way. No.
Well, now if you're Brad, you come around and you know that Jordan's playing probably the other double. It's a slash double. But yeah, you're too far back there and he plays the in-off double onto your shooter. I think you got to be up high, assuming you can get buried.
So we've been back and forth in this game, and Gushue putting up a good stand here.
Even is fine. You want to force him, if he's going to play a double, you want to force him to play the slash that's in the house right now. Because if he doesn't make contact with the second rock, you're drawing for the win. Even if he does, he's rolling out, you're drawing for the tie. You don't want to leave him another double by putting this either too high, half open, where he can play the double across, something that's a little bit more natural.
Yeah, 'cause
that slash is tough.
not easy.
Yeah, it's tough.
My God, we had the same thought at the same time. Scary.
Well,
my first one away from Brad.
My first thought on this one is it's not light. Should come down when it starts to curl.
It's digging in. It's going to be a lot closer than they want it.
Yeah, it's way too deep because he could come off the other one now, play the double into that one, and his shooter stays in front of the back stone if he makes it.
So McDonald must make a double here.
Yeah, if he hits it a little thick and just rolls over in front of those two, that's okay too. The only way I see that he gets in a lot of trouble here is if he hits it just a shade thick, comes across and nudges that stone, but doesn't get it out of the rings, because then there'll be room for Brad to push this red one out. It's still for 3. You either have to kill 2 or you have to stay in front of both of them.
Some drama here brewing in Martensville. Last stone for Jordon McDonald. Numanicki picks this up right out of his hand. Got to hold it on to it. Get the one across the way. Yes, you make it. And you roll up under cover to boot. Jordon McDonald. Let's see that again.
Knew what he wanted to do here, playing the double all the way with the up weight. Hits it just exactly where he needs to. A little bit more spin, and he could have made this shot next to impossible, but there is room for Brad to push it back, get things into an extra end here.
So to force the extra, Brad Gushue needs to dig this one out. And hold the shooter. Final stone of the 8th end. To stay in the game. Nichols on the carve. Can they push it over? Back and forth. It's pretty close. And they make it. And we will have bonus curling again here in Martensville. Back in a moment on Curling Stadium.
Developed over a decade in collaboration with the finest ice makers this side of the Atlantic, the Pebblehead PB5 is nothing short of a triumph of sophistication and craftsmanship. Weighing less than half its lumbering copper predecessors, yet boasting tenfold their durability, the PB5 delivers perfect, consistent ice time after time. The PB5 by pebbleheads.com, the apex of ice-making ingenuity for the roaring game of curling.
Welcome back. 9th end. It's all tied up here. It's extra end time. Jordon McDonald's going to have the hammer here in Martensville. It's the semifinals. Looks like both teams are taking a brief nature break here. So, update you have is Mike McEwen taking the win over
Those other guys, Kevin Timu.
Kevin Tuma, yes, their opponents. And they are awaiting the winner of this game. Take a look at all the folks watching here at Martensville. And they're watching that other tournament too. I know I am, so I don't blame them one little bit.
I have hardly watched any of it so far. It doesn't help that a couple of the games seem to want to be happening in the middle of the night.
Definitely maybe a bit of a vampire, that's for sure. So along with Sean Joyce, I'm Dave Extrahand Schmel.
So you have to figure here as we start this extra, and Brad's certainly going to throw a center guard on the first one.
I'm just wondering if they serve chili for lunch or something. That's taken a while.
There is only one washroom in Martensville, so they might have to take turns. McDonald will come around. You do see this increasingly nowadays. Depending on how good the first come around is made, Brad might throw the freeze, knowing that if he throws the guard on the fifth stone of the end, he's still going to be in the same spot after 5. It's just that McDonald will only be sitting 1. There's only 1 that he's going to have to deal with later on. It's the tricky spot about this when you get into a spot where you have to steal, like an extra end. You can throw your double centers right away, but if the other team makes their 2 shots really good, they've got 2 frozen at the top of the forefoot. You have to deal with those stones before you really get into a steal position. If it takes you 2 shots to get those moved, both your guards are gone by then.
All right, so we got Botcher out. We got Nichols out. Here comes another player. We're still short of J-Mac.
One we're waiting for is the one who has to throw.
Wait for the one who has to throw and the opponent skip.
I think he just got back. That was Jordan that just came running across.
Oh, Jordan? Okay, yeah. That's right. Humanicki has the red toque. And so there's Olofsson, Gauthier, McDonald. So we're still short 2.
Jordan used the last of the toilet paper, so now we have to wait.
And we see
we're not short 2. See, they were hiding one there.
Oh, there it is. And I see a couple of sixels of beer there on the warm room side. I wonder what they're serving on draft here at Martensville. And we're back. After washing his hands for sure. Opening stone of the extra. So really just one washroom.
Well, unless they wanted to wander upstairs, but there might already be a lineup for that one. That's where they can serve the alcohol. Boy, you don't want to be behind the tee line here. This makes anything deep just makes the decision easier for Gushue. He can throw the second guard right away. That's where if you get that to the top of the forefoot, it actually puts a little bit more pressure on Gushue. If he ignores it, throws the second guard, you make the second draw to the top of the forefoot. He's got a lot of work to do, even just to open up room to score behind those guards. Now you're only going to have one buried top 4. Brad will take his chances. Get the second guard here, nice and long. Can't peel it yet, but you want to make these where it's tough to play the double peel later. That's pretty good. Need to make a good one here. And then, the pressure really, a lot of times in this situation, comes down to that fifth stone of the end. Brendan Botcher's first attempt to come around, he's got to make a good one because the guards start disappearing after that.
Want to get this one in a good spot.
Yeah, and they're not going to get it where they'd like it. It's hanging out on them. They'll get a good piece of the top 4, but there's room for Brad to get to the inside of that. This is definitely your chance to make, like I said, you make a good one here. The peels start happening, but if you've got a rock in a good position with this first one, you know you're always going to have something with your last one to try to set up the steal. That's really good. Pushes it to the back four. He ends up buried at the top four.
Now we try to run back the whole shebang.
Yeah, even if he does make the double peel here, though, that the situation in the house is good enough for Brad. You can play a single guard for the whole end, and then on your last one, make a decision if you're going to tap that up.
It's only one.
Long guard for a while now. That line looks a lot tighter than Jeff's was. More rotation.
Also looks a lot lighter. Looks a lot lighter. Brad's going to come up. And will they get this across the hog line? Yes.
The rotation saved it. You can drag a rock a lot farther when it's got that extra rotation. Also held the line better. And now there's more separation.
Well, maximum separation here. Just playing a straight peel. Don't think they can get it that high again.
Well, they could. I mean, ideally, you'd love to. I think this is, when it's when Brad's taking this long to take the call or to make the call here, I think this is more a case of giving Jeff Walker a couple of extra deep breaths before they have to sweep another one. And in fact, you'll notice here, and this is rare. Usually they put Brendan Botcher on the outside. He's the inside brusher on this one because he's not breathing hard yet. A little more line early, but this has got less rotation than Brendan's too. It should curl a little farther.
And Walker drags that up to the center line. It's a lot closer now and a bit of an angle.
Had to bring it, though, because they had to get that last as much curl as they could.
Gushue. Right out of his hand. Olsen hits it. They get 1 and 2 moving. Field out, move it off to the side. Does kind of block the draw path, likely on the intern side. But at this point, with 2 others in the rings, you're just looking to be able to run something at some point, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. You're going to play single guards here, and then you have to make a decision. Are you playing straight peel, or are you playing it for the run back? Because you keep trying run backs, and if you just miss it and leave another rock in the way, you might not have much to shoot at with the last one. Like right now, if you straight peel it well, if you leave that rock exposed, yeah, you can go after it now.
Yeah, you got to go after it all day. Does not have a lot of line. Gets there, gets a hit. Little flop off to the side. Well executed shot. So Gushue looking through the options.
Yeah, and all they are is the straight draw around the two guards, or the tap that he's looking at and try to leave a pocket at the back of the forefoot. The problem with the tap to the pocket is it's not going to leave your shooter in a great spot. Like if you could make the tap and leave your shooter in a good spot, it's a lot more tempting. Brendan's the way Brendan's looking at doing it's probably a better result. Like you get that rock on the top of the forefoot, get behind cover, and start to leave a pocket on the other side.
Do you ever have the gumption to throw another guard?
No, because the peel is just too easy, and you might need to sit just because of way things are sitting right now. You come around, you know Jordan's going to peel the guard, might play a double peel, and you should have some kind of shot to sit two. So it looks like they are playing off the red one, not even worried about tapping it back, even if they kill it here. It's too dangerous to leave it where it is.
They clip it, they roll, and they are shot stone.
Wow,
So
this surprises me.
Coming at it from the outturn side, Sean.
Yeah. Well, he knows he's got the draw to the button with his last one, but I mean, if you peel the guards here, what does Brad do? Yeah, and I think that's what Jack's looking at. You peel the guards. Like, if you ever come deep on this, or short for that matter, I mean, you don't have a lot of leeway with this if you're playing the draw. You don't have shot rock after this. Brad throws a guard, and where do you draw? And if you do get shot rock, he's following it down and trying to sit on the corner of it. You're gonna have less room. I think you peel in the guard here all day.
Nicky coming down, giving his opinion.
And then Brad's got to make a decision. Where do you put the next rock? And I don't really have the answer for that. I mean, you could corner freeze the one that you've got there already. Then he can't really play the hit because it's going across into the red on the other side. You could draw split center, half in the forefoot, and put it where you can't really hit either rock on the nose to score.
So here's McDonald on the peel. He makes it. They clear it. Nothing but net.
Corner freeze the red. Let him draw the middle. It's not bad. That's the other one I talked about. Split the center line. You have to sit two if you do that. You don't want to be far enough in that he could hit it on the nose. Yeah, there's probably a case to be made for that. If you're going to play to the red one, maybe just hit it rather than try to make a perfect freeze. I mean, if you hit it, you're sitting two. He can't hit either one of them on the nose. The one thing they haven't talked about yet, do you ever just guard that and make him throw the draw in the ninth end?
It's been a minute since he's thrown one.
Yeah. mean, you've been prepared for a while now that you're going to have to sit two, and this is not wrong, but it's worth thinking about. You throw the guard. I mean, it's got to be perfect.
Final stone for Brad Gushue. Nichols with his head down the whole way.
He wants to stay right there. He doesn't want to let him hit it on the nose. That's pretty good.
All right, so he's going to play the hit. A little quiet weight hit on the inner half of that stone. Leave it there for shot. Jordon McDonald facing two here. Tied up with the hammer in the extra. Make this one for the game. Off and on, they like it. It's probably pretty close.
It's got a curl.
A little bit of curl from Olsen, and there it went. And he makes it no problem, and that's going to be a win for Jordon McDonald over Brad Gushue by a score of 6-5 in an extra, and he will beat Mike McEwen in the finals. And Sean, wow, back and forth, left and right in that game.
Yeah, right up to the very last end. There was a couple of ends that went back and forth a few times, and Brad, I mean, to his credit, he got what he wanted. He made him look at two, had to make a delicate shot. Sometimes the other guy makes a shot. It's got you can't control what the other guy can do. You can only control yours.
And Shawnee and I will be back at 3:30 for the finals from Martensville. So for Connor Sims and Sean Joyce, Dave Schmel saying, see you later.
Hey, Mark, you ready for this game tonight?
Yeah, I'm excited, man. Cupsy, what are you doing over there?
Don't worry, boys. Was just on AztecSafety.com, took a fire extinguisher safety course. Paul, I'm putting out the fires from now on. Woo!